So you bought the house right. You bought it right, you fixed it right, and you sold it for the maximum value. And then you lose all your profits on a bad appraisal. Today, on today's Ask Cashflow Kris, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss how to avoid a bad appraisal. So what's up, everybody? My name is Cashflow Kris. I'm the guy your financial advisor doesn't want you to know, because we teach you how to make much better returns with better assets. So like I said, we're going to talk about appraisals. This has happened so many times to so many investors. People work so hard on all the beginning and middle stages of it, but they don't pay attention at the end of it. So it's very important to buy the property right. It's very important to fix it right. If you go over budget, that can eat into your budget. Selling it right. We always talked about how after repair value, what's it worth fixed up? Knowing that number is key. So now you know what that number is and you sell it right. But at that point, a lot of people just kind of give it to your realtor and hope that they can close the deal for you. And that's the absolute wrong way to go about it. I'm not saying to do it all yourself, but make sure that your realtor does this. You have to make sure that your realtor does this. I'm going to go over the 4 main steps how at Investors Edge Real Estate Group we make sure that we get good appraisals. Now, this is not 100% because it's still subject to somebody else's opinion, but this works. I would say at least 95% of the time this strategy works. Okay, so you sell the property, and then you're going to have your inspections. So the buyers go in, they have all their inspections, and then they send you the inspection report. Once you agree on that, that's typically when they are going to order the appraisal. They're not going to order the appraisal before that because they want to make sure you're going to make the repairs necessary to make sure everybody's happy. Okay, so as soon as that BINSR, that buyer inspection report, has been accepted, that is when the step number 1, pull the MLS lockbox, pull the super lockbox. Most appraisers either have access to MLS lockboxes, or they're because of their appraisers, or they're licensed realtors. A lot of them are licensed realtors. So more often than not, they're going to have full access to that lockbox. So when they get the assignment, the last thing they want to do is talk to a realtor. The last thing they want to do is, talk to anybody really. So they're going to look it up in MLS, and if it's vacant, which most of our flips are vacant, they are going to just go. They're just going to go at their own leisure. They're not going to tell you they're going to go. They're just going to go. You're going to call a few days later and say, what's up with the appraisal? Oh, I was already there. Okay. So number 1 thing is that you're going to pull the lockbox. Why are we going to pull the lockbox? Well, first of all, we don't want them to go there without us, and I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. Secondly, you're not really allowed to get the information for the appraiser. It all needs to be separate, which it is. But when you pull the lockbox, you're going to call the lender and let them know, hey, there's no access. The appraiser needs to contact me or your realtor to get inside the property. And so now the appraiser is going to contact me directly. Now I have the appraiser's phone number, and a lot of times I'll get their email just so I have it. Okay, so that's number 1, pull the lockbox. Number 2 is you're going to create an appraisal packet. What is included in this packet? Okay, so the worst way to go about having an appraiser or helping an appraiser with the value, the very, very worst way that you can go about it is just shoving comps in their face, saying, hey, this is what it's worth, blah, blah, blah. I know everything. I'm a superstar realtor. Here's what it's worth. Everybody has ego, right? So this guy has a big check on the line for you. He has that in his hands. If you did the flip game right, you are waiting for a $20,000+ check, right? And it's in his hands, so you got to be nice. So we're not going to just throw comps in his face. This is what we're going to do. The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to give him a list of repairs. Let him know everything that you did on this property, especially if it was an extensive remodel. Let them know. Give a full detailed report of everything that you did. Secondly, you're going to add the budget. Okay? Believe it or not, people are haters in this world. I know, weird, right? Appraisers are no different. So they will look at the purchase price, they'll look at the sales price, and they're going to count your profits, right? They're going to be like, oh man, this guy made X amount. They don't take into account carrying costs, rehab costs, all this. So while they may think you're making 100,000, you're really not. But regardless of how much you're making, why does it matter to them? But that's a reality. So you want to provide a budget, and I actually like to inflate my budget a little bit. If I spent 40, maybe I'll say we spent 52 or something like that, just to make it look like I didn't make that much money. Because I tell you what, appraisers are haters, and I have a story about that. My mom and I actually flipped a house over in West Phoenix. It was a burn job, so we spent like 100,000 on this property. But they saw that we bought it for, I think, 50. We sold it for like 180 or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I mean, it was a just insane spread. But they didn't take into account all the money we made, or all the money that we spent. And literally, the lender, I still can't believe this happened. The lender made us provide a budget to them in order to have the appraisal came in fine, and it was a flip within 6 months. So actually, they had to get 2 appraisals. Both appraisals came in fine. They still made us provide a budget, so because they thought we were making too much money. Insane. But I guess when you're working with a lender, they kind of hold they hold the rules, so you got to do what they do. So you have your list of repairs, you have your budget, and then in the very back is where you're going to put your comps. And you don't say this is what it's worth, because you're going to have a cover letter. And in that, I say I also provided the comps that we used to price the property. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you it's worth 250. You're crazy, you're insane if you don't think it's worth the 250 that we got. No, these are the comps that I use to price my property. And then give them some great comps. That's the key. Also, if you show that, don't give them crap comps. They got to be apples to apples. If you have a 1950 home, don't send them comps that are 1985. That's not a comp. Don't send them comps that are 2 miles away. That's not a comp. Send them comps. Give them a reason to help you receive that valuation. Because here's the other thing. They want to help you. They want to make it work. It's kind of eerie how often the appraisal comes in exactly at the purchase price. It happens like all the time. As long as it's right there, the appraisers want to make it work. The banks want to make it work. The buyers and sellers want to make it work. And so the appraisers don't want to mess things up if they don't have to. If it's way off, then they will. But to avoid those $5,000, $10,000 differences, this is where this is really going to help. Okay, so that's what you got. Number 2 was have all your documents ready. Number 3, they're going to call you, set an appointment, and be early. Okay, don't make the appraiser wait. Again, they've got your big fat check in their hands, so don't make them wait. So meet them early. Make sure everything's good. Turn on all the lights. Make sure the place looks great. Make sure it smells good, and then have your little packet. Okay. And then what I do is when they show up, how's it going, Chris? Be really nice to them. Here, by the way, here's a packet. They're always very thankful because this gives them ammo. They want to know what rehab was done. They want to know what repairs and upgrades were done. So you give them the packet. Hey, I got to get out of here. Take your time. Here's the key. Just lock up when you're done and throw it in the lockbox. Boom. And then you're out. Okay? Because, again, one thing that they aren't going to want is for you to be looking over their shoulder all the time. Oh, what's going on? Are you done? This and that. No. Inspectors hate that, and appraisers hate that. So leave them alone. Once they get there, get out of there. Leave them alone. And then the 4th thing is follow up. Okay? Follow up with them. You have their contact info. Call them up. Hey, how did everything go? Do you need anything else? Okay. So that is my Ask Cashflow Kris for today. Don't forget to leave more questions and I'll be answering your questions. If you're on Facebook, check out AZ Flip Guys. In 2 hours, AZ Flip Guys will be live flipping Fridays. See you guys then.